Who would have thought that I would talk about American TV show and K-drama at the same video? I was not expecting that. Anyway, The Resident introduced us to a character who's supposed to be a genius at diagnosing patients. From the very first scene, he's shown as resilient, independent, sharp, and incredibly smart. And when you create a character that is intelligent, you can't afford to write them in a way that makes them look foolish. It breaks the whole illusion. I usually love medical dramas, but here I barely made it through episode 5. By episode 7, I gave up completely. Something in the writing just didn't hold up. My main issue was with how the show handled the main character. When you build a clever, sophisticated character, you also need to give them strong opponent. And what you can't do, and what I really felt happening, is lowering the character's intelligence just to move the plot forward. It feels like a shortcut. The clearest example is the scene where the senior doctor pretends to perform surgery while another surgeon is actually doing the work behind a closed door. Our main character discovers this, sees everything, and then the logic falls apart. Instead of taking out his phone, the most basic tool everyone has, and recording it, he just stands there. And that doesn't match the brilliant character we were promised. From that moment, the story could have gone in much more interesting direction. Blackmail, manipulation, power games, something with real weight. But instead, everything stops because the writers decided the character simply won't think of that. While every viewer at home is shouting at the screen, just record it. And that's what disappointed me the most. They built a smart character and then changed her behavior just to fit in the script. It feels forced, and that's what pulled me out of the show completely. I think part of why this bothers me so much is because of what I grew up on. I grew up with two older brothers, and between all the teasing, there were the anime shows that kept playing on TV. When you grow up on complex storylines, deep backstories, and sharp, layered relationships between the hero and the villain, going back to American shows can suddenly feel flat. The dynamics between the protagonist and the antagonist often stays pretty shallow. And it's a shame. I really think this series could have reached much higher than just a corrupt doctor who doesn't know when to retire. In the modern world we live in, security cameras everywhere, phones in every pocket, the ability to record any conversation, the antagonist has to be much more sophisticated. It's time to raise the bar. And this isn't the only show that makes this mistake. My cousin recommended me to watch a South Korean drama called When the Phone Rings. The same thing happened there. The main male character is presented as highly respected, smart, and very sharp, someone you supposedly can't fool easily, and yet he falls for the simplest thing. For those who don't know the story, here's the short version. His wife, according to their marriage agreement, is supposedly mute due to an anxiety or trauma, was called selective mutism. Anyway, she gets kidnapped. The kidnapper threatens to kill her, but after a car accident, she survives and takes his phone. From that point on, she's the one calling her husband, threatening him to divorce her. Yes, she can speak perfectly well, but that's not the point. What happened is this. During one of the threatening calls, they were both at some fancy gala event. I don't remember exactly. He went up to the rooftop and she was there too. He literally saw her holding the phone, a black case with bright red strip. Completely different from her own white phone with the white case he had specifically asked to check. And he knows what her phone looks like because, well, she basically uses her phone in the daily life conversations because she needs to type down everything she's saying and show it to him. Meaning he knows exactly what her phone looks like. If he really wanted to, he could have checked her bag right there and taken the phone that wasn't hers. We're talking about someone who's threatening him and his wife. It's okay to be a little impolite for a moment and grab the bag, especially since he wasn't exactly kind to her up until that point. Yeah, it's the kind of love stories that he loves her, but he hates her and treats her badly because he loves her. It's the kind of romance that, as you say in my country, nisgab mi binati, I guess. Then there's the whole choosing not to speak thing, which also doesn't fully make sense to me, but fine, let's go with the pressure from her mother to stay mute. Although honestly, the main female character holds all the cards. She can't be exposed as his wife, meaning she could easily blackmail her own family. She's married to someone more powerful than her mother. I didn't understand where her weaknesses was supposed to be. It probably all comes from years of emotional abuse and suppression from her mother, so I guess that explains it. Still, you already chose to threaten your husband using the kidnapper's phone. I just want to shout at her, go all the way. Of course, it depends on her personality. She's written as obtained and non confrontational, and only in that moment during the kidnapping did she find the courage to threaten him. Which brings me up to another thing. She takes the kidnapper's phone, right? Now, the kidnapper, he hacks the car and then he navigates the car towards him, and this is the way he kidnaps her. So he's like supposed to be sort of a hacker. And she took his phone, right? No password, nothing. I mean, you're supposed to be like, I don't know, hacker genius or something like that, but you don't put password on your phone, which I guess contained evidence. Again, it didn't make sense. What I'm trying to say in this video is this. If you build a powerful character, don't weaken them just to move the plot forward. Make their enemies stronger, deepen the drama, don't flatten the relationships between characters. There is so much to learn from anime and the depth of the relationship you find there. Of course, a person isn't a robot and solutions don't always appear in front of them in the exact second they need them. Finding the right move takes time, emotion, and context. But in the examples I talked about, it didn't feel like that was the case. It didn't feel like a natural human moment. It felt like the writers forced the characters to act out of character just to push the plot forwards.